Okay, we're back. We're without A-Rod. A-Rod is AWOL tonight, but he will be back next week. So it's just Max P and L Hoopo. And right off the top, everybody, I know the season hasn't started yet, Max, and everybody listening, but we're going to do this right now. We're going to clip this. Max, who is going to win the NBA championship this year? Hasn't even started yet the season. Give it to me. Who do you got?
Man, you put me on the spot.
Yes, that's what we do.
Well, since I'm on a spot like this, I'm gonna have to go with the Boston Celtics. I just
Oh,
feel it in my bones.
oh, that hurts.
Yeah, it does hurt,
Oh
don't
no.
it?
No, I don't even think they're gonna make the playoffs. All
Okay,
right.
that's how you feeling. That's how you feeling.
All right, so you got Celtics. I sat on this for a minute because I knew I was gonna ask this. I am going with the Dallas Mavericks. I think Luka is gonna ride him to the finish this year. I think he got a little taste for that last year, and he's just gonna go in. He's gonna go in hard, and that's it. Boom, boom, boom. Texas, it's coming, man. It's coming. So we got Dallas and Boston. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This is the SportsEthos Toronto Raptor podcast, and I pressed the wrong intro song. Here we go. Welcome back, everybody, to the SportsEthos Toronto Raptor podcast. As I said off the jump, A.Rod is not here, so it's just going to be myself, the HOOPO, and Mr. Max P. You better pay me. If you look in this camera, you see that blue jacket back there. Oh, that is a beautiful polo sport jacket, looking so slick, hanging in the background. You don't have it. The only person in the world that has it is this guy right there, Max P, the king of polo. What's going on, Max P?
I'm chilling. I'm chilling. You give me too much credit, but I'll take
No, man.
it.
I wrote that on your YouTube video. I'm like, that's the real king of polo right there, and that's the truth. And people that don't know, now you know. There he is right there. All right, everybody. I hope everybody's done well since the last time we spoke, which was about a month ago. The preseason hadn't started yet. Preseason has started. So I thought, hey, why don't we get some reps in before the season starts? So it's just going to be me and you, Max. How you been, man? Everything good?
Oh man, I can't complain. It's Libra season, and everything is gravy. Out here getting fresh, doing my
Yeah.
push-ups, doing my crunches, drinking my water.
That's it. That's it. I'm drinking my water. I was gonna say on the Popeyes segment, but I got 3 weeks until my race. I got the half marathon in
Okay.
Niagara, and I got 50th place overall last year out of 2,100 runners. And this year I'm trying to
Nice.
get top 20, and
Okay.
so top 20, top 25. So I'm 3 weeks away, and man, I'm feeling a little rough right now. Actually, to be honest, I think I'm a little overtrained and I need a little rest. So
Hey, don't
we'll
overdo it.
see.
We got some time to recuperate.
Yeah, man, I still got a few weeks, but that's besides the point. Let's get right into this. So, you predicted the Boston Celtics to win the championship. I predicted the Dallas Mavericks, but this isn't about those two teams. This is about the Toronto Raptors. And the Raptors actually just did play their first preseason game the other night. They played against the Washington Wizards, which the Raptors won this one handedly, 125 to Wizards had 98. So why don't you give me one word? I don't know if you checked it. I don't know if you checked the highlights or if you even checked anything about it, Max. But what do you think? What's your vibe off of this first preseason shot?
Um, it looks like we're still filling each other out. A lot of young boys. Looks like we're going to be a defensive running and gun type of team. Um, Once again, it looks like if we can knock down our threes, we're going to be a problem.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, let's hope.
No,
Let's see what
but,
happens, man.
but this is a big year for Scotty Barnes.
Huge.
This is a big year for Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown and Ant Man
I agree
and
with you on it.
Giannis,
Yeah,
and B. There's pressure on all of those guys right there. And I feel like they're all going to step up to the plate.
that's a good point. There's a lot of pressure on a lot of guys right now. I
There's
didn't.
a
I
lot
didn't
of
think of
guys that
that.
we're looking at like, bro, we could put you in this box or we could put you in that box. What's it going to take?
Yeah, yeah.
We
Like
could,
Tatum. Tatum's about a half big toe away from being in that other box, man.
talk
Talking
about
about starting five on Netflix. I won't even start that. By the way, I won't even start watching that documentary just because I just can't do it. My heart won't let me press play because it's just gonna be too much LeBron for me, man. I want to
yeah,
see Ant Man, but I
yeah.
can't
I
do it,
seen the
man.
preview on YouTube and I was like, nope, can't do it. Ant Man part looks dope. The
It
Ant Man
does.
part looks dope, but once the funds involved, it's
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna jump in. My word for that, young fun, man. They look like a bunch of young guys just starting to get to know each other. Look like they're having fun, and that's what they wanted to draft. They wanted to draft, the new generation. I've said it so many times, and I think they did it. And there's a lot of just a lot of young guys having fun, feeling each other out. And the one thing I did notice is my guy, and I mentioned it in the last podcast, is Jamal Sheed. This kid, man, he you can just tell how much heart he has and how much
Hmm.
grit he has. He's
Hmm.
sandpaper. He was out there for the first 2 minutes and he just looked like he was just a bulldozer. He looks like my son, like a rhinoceros. He's just running through guys, running through screens, so much defense. Like I saw him holding on to guys on D, and then he had this one play where he ran back on him and he kind of put his arm around him, and then he did like a vet move where he kind of pushed off and fell back. Like a rookie doesn't do stuff like that. And then the offense got the call, and he just gets up clapping. I'm like, man, I love this kid already. So I'm gonna say that I'm gonna write in mine right here, Jamal Sheed. Like this is gonna be my guy all year, man. So hopefully he gets some time. That's my guy.
I think early, lots of guys are going to get an opportunity for some time for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of time, did you hear that quote Jakob said before they started preseason? They were interviewing him on media day, and he's like, I don't even know what the question was, but he's like, "Yeah, we're not gonna really try to win every game." Like, what? I know I'm
What?
probably taking him out of context, but that's essentially what he said. That is like it's about growth and development, but the way he said it, it was just
Oh,
awful. Like, nah, man, like you
yeah.
just dropped yourself a few pegs in my respect level. Like, why are
The
you saying
PR
that?
people are going to be screaming at him. They were screaming at him as soon as he like got off that mic.
Why would you say that?
Because they got people that like work with them before they go talk to the media, right?
Yeah, media training,
You
man.
know,
You got your PR guys.
yeah. So he definitely was not paying attention. Like, what is that about, bro?
Yeah, no, you don't
Never
say
say
that
that.
shit.
You never ever say that.
And that's something that sticks to you too. Like you can say stupid shit. Like we've all said stupid shit, but like I can personally say I've said a lot of stupid shit, but it bounces. Like it's not stuff like that, because stuff like that, it just sticks to you. Like I'm gonna look at him now probably all year and like, you just don't want to win, do you? Like, you know what I mean? Like this
Mhm.
is what you do professionally. Like that's disrespectful. I didn't like that. So I
Yeah,
hope he
you got a stink on you right now.
yeah, yeah, and it stinks, man. Keep on the Raptors. I think you said it's a big year for Scotty. It absolutely is a
Yeah.
big year for Scotty, and he's having a baby, man. He's having his first child.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
so you remember what happens to players? Remember when DeMar had his first kid, and you remember those times, and then
For
all the
sure.
guys started having kids. They started to like their game started to change. I just remember the maturing, as the maturing. I was like, who used to say mature? Coach Casey. Like, we did they are yeah, maturing. But anyways, Scotty, we'll see what happens, man. Because man, I've had two kids, and it changes you. So it's gonna be fun to see how that changes everything with this dynamic with the basketball. What do
Yeah,
you
for
think?
sure. He's definitely going to start thinking about the future. He's
Yeah,
going to start thinking long term. Um, yeah, it's going to be like it's bigger than him now.
yeah.
Yeah, all that's going to be running through his mind for sure. Like all he's got to do is not bend to that pressure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really don't buckle underneath that extra weight you have on you now.
Because you
It's
can very easily.
yeah, it's an honor to have that weight on you, but you got to be able to hold it.
How old is he? I
He's
can't.
young still. He's in his
Like
20s.
22? Yeah, like, I can't even imagine having a kid at 22. I mean, he's got enough money to have a lot of help.
Yeah, he's got enough money to have a nanny
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
that good stuff, and fly back on special occasions, and you
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
it takes
True.
work, though. It takes work, young man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Double
Do it.
duty.
Yeah. And then yeah, so I just wanted to just say like what I saw in that game personally was just you can't take too much out of first preseason game, but I did like what I saw. What they seem to be having fun. Grady, Kansas Slim was out there looking a little less slim. He looked like he put on a few pounds.
Speaking of
I
putting on
really,
pounds,
mm,
Wembenyama. According
Yeesh.
to Shams, the new NBA insider. Shout out to Shams, the new NBA insider on ESPN.
Yeah, that's right.
Wembanyama put on 17 pounds last year and 22 pounds this year.
22 pounds.
So altogether, that's like what 30, 40
30,
something
yeah, yeah,
pounds
30,
since
yeah,
he's
yeah,
been in the
yeah.
league. Like wow, you know what I
Oh
mean?
my, 22 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what he was eating. And the thing is that is, and he's eating well because they're gonna eat, man, 22 pounds
Yeah, I
of
mean,
healthy weight. Wow.
not to throw shade, but he's probably on that Dwight Howard, Giannis,
Mm-hmm.
Ron program, that blow up program.
That
You know?
undetectable program. That
Oh,
NBA
oh,
face of the NBA program that we're not really going to test you. What did Joakim Noah said? He said on some podcast that he's like when they
yeah,
talk, he's talking
yeah.
about drug testing in the NBA. He's like they just basically look at you, make sure you're pissing out your dick. It's like,
Fucking dick watches.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. But they probably didn't even make LeBron piss either. His Miami days are just like, yeah, yeah, you're good, you're good, you're good. You don't even have to piss, man.
He's too important. It doesn't. The rules don't apply.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's like speaking of which, I don't want to go way too off track, but I don't know. Have you seen that Netflix special about? Or no, it's not on Netflix. It's on it's ESPN 3030 on Daryl Strawberry and Dwight Gooden. Have you seen that,
No,
man?
I've heard about
Oh
it.
my God,
I
you
heard about
gotta
it. My
watch
homies were
that.
telling me about that one.
These guys are legends, man. These guys.
Oh yeah, those guys put in work.
Oh, they sure
That
did.
was probably the
Oh.
last era when baseball was like the culture. You know what I'm saying?
Man, they were on
Like
like speed every game,
speed,
cocaine,
cocaine.
everything,
But you can't
man.
even blame them because back then there was no such thing as a crackhead. There was no such thing as
No.
somebody. You know what I mean? Like all that was just regular recreational stuff, right?
Yeah, there was just, man, yeah, exactly. You're right. There
You
was no
know?
such thing as a crackhead yet.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Anyways, all right. So I don't know if there's anything else that you saw in that game, but I'm excited. So we'll see. We'll see what comes out of this. Tomorrow night they play the Wizards again, so we'll see if this continues. But let's move on. So yeah, as I said off the jump, I have my run in the next 3 weeks, and I'm running in Niagara. And to be all serious, in all seriousness, everybody, listen. If there's anybody listening out there that is training for whatever it is with sports, you got to give yourself some rest. I'm 44 years old, and let me tell you, it took me 44 years to realize that you can't train like you're going to the goddamn Olympics when you have 2 kids, full-time job, and you're literally going to the gym in the morning and running in the afternoon every single day, trying to get top 20. You got to give yourself some rest. And I thought, okay, what no better place than the podcast to say this, that where should I get some supplements to help me get some rest, help me get healing up. Well, where do you think I could go? Somewhere trying, like, in all seriousness, that I could find the right supplements, what I need right now to get my body right. Where do you
Oh
think?
man. If I tell you what I'm thinking about, you're gonna get a divorce. But another
Shit.
spot, another spot is
Yeah.
Popeye supplements.
Hey, Popeye supplements. They're still on board, Popeye. So, all right. I'll see you probably tomorrow to get what I need and get right. Well, that means this is another episode of This or
That.
Yes, sir. And without A.Rod, it's just going to be me and you riding on this one, Max P. So let's go. So first things first, I just want to say this is, are you yes or no, or yay or nay with these purple jerseys that they're rolling out this year? They're rolling back the old schools, the purples. What do you think of this vibe that we're going on with these purples? Yay or nay? What do you think?
I'm gonna have to go with yay because me being an NFL fan, the Broncos pulled out their John Elway era uniforms. They were looking crazy.
Did they?
Yeah, the Seattle Seahawks are wearing some crazy dope old school uniform today too.
Yeah.
Too bad Washington can't pull out their old school uniforms.
No, they can't. The internet will kill them.
The Cleveland baseball team can't
No, they
really
can't do that either. Yeah. Oh man, that's right. With the Edmonton Eskimos, they can't do that either.
Yeah, well, we got a purple dinosaur as harmless, so
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I'm down with the Astros. I'm down with the purple. these young boys wear their uniforms a little different, and with
They
the different
do.
schemes, hopefully they can freak up uniforms and make them look good.
Yeah, for me too, it's the nostalgia factor too. Like that, those jerseys bring me back to when the Raptors were the shit. You remember that? Like that was the era when it was like,
And that was
okay,
the first time we were good.
that's the first time we were really
The
good.
first time
Yeah,
we were good. We were battling with Iverson. Kobe
yeah,
was out there putting in work.
yeah,
Um, I think Kobe was still with Shaq them times.
yeah. People were calling it was going to be Raptors Lakers finals.
Yes,
Yeah, so I
yes,
guess we're both yes on the purples, huh?
yeah, for sure. I mean, I never really liked those uniforms, but
Same.
it's a nice throwback to that era. It reminds me of the Detroit Piston uniforms with the big Bronco horse on them.
Oh
The teal.
yeah, they
Remember
were
those
like
teal
the T. Yes,
uniforms?
yes, yes. The green, yeah, teal. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, remember those?
Hmm.
Those uniforms suck, but it's nice to see them every once in a while.
Yeah, yeah. Well, speaking of the purple, so everybody knows this, and I just wanted to catch the vibe on here. What do you think about Vince? He is finally gonna get his number retired.
Yes,
He's coming to town. He's come to town already. They're already the promo machine has been
look
in
at that
motion
court.
already. Yep, he was at the park. My neighbor, who's a camera guy for Global News, he was there for this event, and he said Vince actually did seem quite emotional, and that it was all kind of hitting him. Speaking of nostalgia, so what do you think of this? Do you think it's rightly deserved? I know we've gone into deep detail on this in previous episodes, but it is happening now. It's confirmed. What do you think?
Yeah, Vince Carter is definitely our era. He's our guy.
Yeah.
I remember when the homies had the club out in the downtown Toronto scene. Vince Carter also started within the club scene right around
Yep.
the same time, and it was the early days of a really really popping club scene right now. And yeah, Vince Carter is a fundamental part of Toronto being a world class city today. You know what I'm saying? He put us on the map
He
with
did.
obviously with the dunk competition. Everybody knows about that and how he put us on the map that way. You know what I'm saying? But that's some
Mm.
real inside baseball when it comes to the club scene. Vince Carter
Didn't
was
he? Didn't
definitely
he bring? Didn't he bring the aspect of bottle service into the club, like
well,
something like that, like
some of my homies might disagree, but yeah, on a
something?
mainstream level for sure.
Because I
Like
watched some documentary about him.
yeah, that was that era when
Yeah.
the homies had a club and there was no club scene in Toronto.
No.
And so all the basketball players would come through. All the early up and bud R&B players would come through. Right around
Mm.
the same time, Vince Carter did the same thing. And so anybody that had a club at the time, which was pretty much us two, Vince Carter and the club bottles and the celebrities coming through the night before the basketball game became a routine in the city.
Hmm.
And the whole club scene was built off of the night before a Raptors game and what celebrities are in the club, what basketball stars are in the club,
With Mona.
and it's with Mona and
With Mona.
everything that comes along with that. It was a beautiful scene. It was only 3 or 4 clubs, and Vince Carter's club was one of them. You know what I mean? And these were the early
Nah.
days of bottle service and VIP and all of that in the
And
city.
you were in the mix at the time, right? You were
He
in the
was
mix.
definitely
Yeah.
in the mix. We
Yeah.
had
You
the
were.
homies had a club, and we had Shaq through, we had Paul Pierce through, Dwayne Wade, we had Mutombo, rest in peace.
What was the
You
vibe
know what
like?
I
Yeah.
mean?
Rest in peace. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Oh my
we
gosh,
had
that one hit hard, man.
it hard. We had Neo, Ja Rule. We had like all kind of cats coming through in those early days when there wasn't too many
What was the vibe
top
like? Because
clubs.
I wasn't in there. I wasn't in that world. But what was the vibe like when all these guys were rolling
The
through
vibe
and
was beautiful because Toronto was a
fresh?
place where celebrities could come through, and it wasn't the groupie. It wasn't a groupie vibe. You
Yeah, it was
know,
fresh.
it was a
Yeah.
place where celebrities could come through and actually hang out. And folks would approach you and maybe ask for your autograph and take a picture or nothing, but people wouldn't trip.
That's
And
what
so
Demar said in his book. They said that's the one thing he loved about Toronto, and still to this day, it's the same. Is that we kind of don't give a fuck. Like if we see
yeah,
you
we don't
outside,
trip,
it's like we kind of let
bro.
you just live. Yeah,
Yes, we don't trip. Like we love you, but we're not gonna be
yeah.
like doing the Beatles thing, screaming and making a
No,
fuss and and all that.
No,
We're
no.
gonna let you breathe, especially if you're with your folks. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm,
we're definitely
mm-hmm.
gonna be polite and let you breathe out here.
Which was
And
probably
that's what it
really
was like.
refreshing.
Celebrities could come through and get, and be real on the low. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
kind of like
yeah,
Vegas, what happens here stays here.
absolutely. What do you say? White Vegas,
that
man.
was the vibes. If it was the best way to describe it.
Yeah. Well, speaking,
Celebrities
I
would
just
come to the
no, no, no.
city, and
Finish,
you would
sir.
never know.
Yeah. I kind of wish I was in the mix there just to kind of catch that vibe because I can only imagine because it was so new and it was so fresh to the city that I bet
Yes,
you
it
it
was
was just it was
early, it
a
was innocent.
yeah and
Mhm.
untainted, you know what I mean, and just
Yes,
people just
yes,
having a genuinely honest good time and
yes, yes.
building it as it builds itself, very organic, and it must have been very cool to be around that. Speaking of organic growth, he came here as a young buck. He started his career in Toronto, and I just read his book. DeMar DeRozan just put out his book, Above the Noise. And the moment I got a chapter in, I was telling these boys just to let the listener
Shout
know
out to
right now,
Compton.
man, you have to read this book. Even if you're not a DeMar or Raptor fan, and just even if you're not a basketball fan, I think this book would hit you hard. Like, not to go off too deep on it, but there was just one part that just hit me so hard. It was about his dad. His dad was dealing with some health issues with strokes, and yes, like you said, he grew up in Compton, and he goes into everything, and his dad was just a matriarch, just a strong, big man in his life, and just
Which
was
is rare
there.
in Compton. A lot of dudes
Yeah,
don't really get a chance to raise their kids out there.
yeah, and raise them right.
Yeah.
And the best thing, there are two stories. It was I guess his dad was like the cable guy, right? So he had, I guess, those VHS tapes where he could be able to record one tape and on
Mm-hmm.
another VHS tape.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
he would record all the games and bring them back, and they would just watch the games, right? So Demar was saying in their living room was just all VHS tapes of old games with pieces of tape
Wow.
telling you what game it
Because
was,
that's exactly how professional basketball players train. They get
Yeah.
tapes of people that fit their playing style, and they study and study and study.
Yeah, yeah. And the one part that hit me though was, and I'll end it on this, but it was I guess when his dad was sick, stroke, and was in the hospital, and DeMar, was still a kid, and he ran in, he got pulled out of high school, he gets pulled into the hospital, he goes in to see his dad, and his mom's in there, and she's upset, and he's upset, he doesn't know what to say, his dad's struggling. His mom leaves to go get some water or something like that, and DeMar was gonna leave, and his dad's like, DeMar, come here. And he goes to his dad, and his dad says, "Don't worry, man. I'm not gonna die until you make it." I was like, holy.
Jeez.
I was like, I pressed pause on the book. I was like, yeah, I can't start this book for another couple of days, man. But because
Mhm.
yeah, well, big salute to Demar, man. The book is beautiful. I know you're probably not listening to this, but I must say the book is beautiful. You really put it out there as a fan, but as also outside of basketball. I was just a fan of the book just because you were very honest in the book, and you literally came from sounds like nothing, man. Like you came
Yeah,
from,
like,
yeah, and you
big shout out to DeMar. I mean, when he was on the Raptors out of Compton, the Raptors were looking for respect and a come up. DeMar was looking for respect and a come up.
mm-hmm,
Me and you, Paul, grew up in an era where the West Coast completely ran the world.
the world,
Like people don't understand how West Coast rap ran the world.
man,
We were coming
everything.
home from school every day watching Rap City and stuff.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh man.
And so Compton was in the West Coast was looking for a come up. And we
Mm,
all kind of came up together. The West Coast, you
yeah,
see what they did recently. We got our championship ring.
yeah.
Mar is out here as a triple OG, established all over the league,
Mm,
highly respected. Courted by LeBron, turned it down. Salute.
yeah, yeah. Big salute. Loved that. Oh man, wouldn't even go back to his hometown.
He's still on the West Coast, though. I'm still on the West Coast.
Yeah, Zach, man. Yep, Zach. That's right. Oh man, what's funny too? He said one story, one last thing on his number, which his choice of 10. Everybody thought it was because of comp 10, right? To play with words. But he
Yeah,
told
yeah.
us he
So,
told the story that it was because that's the number Kobe wore, in the Olympics. So like he is a Kobe guy. Like we all knew that about
Oh
DeMar,
yeah,
but
for
he
sure,
is
for
like
sure.
Kobe, 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 Kobe. Like
Shout out to
yeah.
DeMar DeRozan's Kobe collection. I think you can find that on YouTube.
Uh,
Insane. And you
oh,
can
I
just
think
watch
I've seen
his
that.
games every night. If you pay attention to DeMar DeRozan's shoe game,
Oh man, yeah.
his Kobe work is top notch.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the reason they call him Debo is because I guess
Oh,
when he was a kid, they would just run so many games, outdoor courts around here, around there, around town, and then some guy he was just busting him up, and he was a younger guy, like DeMar was younger than this guy, and he was just busting him up, busting him up, busting him up, and then he finally just dunked on his head, and pow, he's a kid, right?
mm-hmm.
Pushes him to the ground like this, and the old guy just had enough, and he just went to put hands on him, and they started to squabble, they started to fight, and DeMar
Yeah.
just knocked him the fuck out.
Oh, he
So
wasn't having
everybody,
it.
they're like, you deboed him, and
Oh,
so I guess that's how the name Debo came in. So everyone just started calling him
because
Debo.
Kobe got knocked the F out, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So they just started calling him Debo. But yes, big salute to the
Mhm.
Toronto legend, man, Compton legend. But we call you, you're from here as well,
Yeah,
Demar.
like he's our guy for sure. I know he's a Compton guy, but in Toronto, that's our dude right there. You
Yeah, yeah, he is our dude, man. All
know?
right, so I wanted to do two more things. We're gonna do this right here. We're gonna do a quick El Mayo update. Okay, so where's the picture? Where's the picture? El Mayo. For
Hey,
we're gonna keep everybody in the mix on what's going on with El Mayo. So Ishmael Mario Zambada Garcia. So what's happening right now? As everyone knows, El Mayo was kidnapped. So we said that in the last episode. He didn't go to see some real estate and jump in a plane to go see some real estate, blah, 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 near Texas. No. He was kidnapped and forced in this plane, extradited to the States. He's waiting a trial. Now, what's happening in Sinaloa, though, is there's infighting now in Sinaloa in the cartel between the Chapitos, which is El Chapo's sons, that faction of the Sinaloa cartel, and the El Mayo side of things. So now both sides are infighting in the cartel. Sinaloa is at war basically right now. All the schools are shut. Like it's no joke. Like there's just at nighttime you just don't go out. People aren't going to school. Shops are all closed up. They're even showing like mariachi bands outside with their tours. They can't even play. It's really bad right now. So
it looks like this was not no inside job. It looks like this was unexpected.
yeah. So
Not
who
the
knows where
vacuum.
this is gonna
A
go?
war for leadership, huh?
So
Wow.
yeah, stay tuned for some more El Mayo updates on the Sports Ethos Toronto Raptor podcast. All right, so we have a new segment for everybody. We started it last episode, and we like to call this one "Hold This." And what "Hold This" is who would you trust to hold something for a weekend? You gotta hold this. I gotta do a couple of little things for a little bit. So if you could hold this for me, I'll be back in a few days.
I'll be
So
back.
yeah, I'll be back. So who would you trust more to hold this for a weekend? A TTC employee or a Go Train employee?
Ooh-wee.
Who do you got? A TTC bus driver or a Go Train train driver to hold this for a weekend? Who do you got, Max? Who do you trust more?
Man, see my gut is telling me the Go Train drive.
The Go Train, huh?
My
Yeah.
gut, but shout out to my homie Yuri from St. Augustine High School in Brampton. I don't know if you're watching. I don't know if you're gonna hear this, but shout out, homie. You was solid.
Yeah.
He was a TTC driver last time,
Hey.
and he was a stand-up guy, solid dude.
Mm.
One of the homies that taught me how to stay in your square, no matter what people think of you,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
let you build your narrative. Don't follow nobody else's. You know what I mean?
I like that. Yeah, I tell my son that every day. Yeah.
Shout out to Yuri. He was a heavy cat.
So you going with TTC to
I'm
hold
going
that?
PTC because of the homie. You know what I'm saying?
That's hilarious because There's no way in hell I'm giving anything to Go Train because they go looking for your money in the bathrooms if you haven't paid for your ticket. They go looking for you in this blah blah blah. I'm going with for the. It's funny for the exact same reason with TTC to hold that because one of my oldest fans, he was older than me. I used to work with him at YTV. He was like, man, he was 10 years older than me. So. And rest in peace. He passed away. So yeah, he was my guy, and I think he'd be 50. No, he'd be almost 59 now. He's older than me, but old school guy. Coached football in Scarborough. Lived up at Jane and Finch up in that area, and he became a TTC bus driver. And he used to get me to coach with the kids up there with basketball and man, he was the one that put me on to old school R&B. Like he used to hand me like just all the originals like Teddy Pendergrass, Teddy Penny's on the Grass, all the like good stuff. And he's like, yeah, you just press play on this disc on your 5-disc changer to see what happens tonight when that lady comes over. I'm like, yeah, man, okay, yeah, here we go, bang. 50-50 love. But Jason Clark, rest in peace, man. Jay, I miss you to this day, man. So, and I know you would hold that with everything you got. So this one's for you, man. All right, cool. So we got one more little new segment that we're gonna do. We're gonna add in a little bit of fantasy basketball to the mix this year. And we're just going to make it quick, but every episode, it doesn't have to be every episode, but our little take, because we have our draft next week, as a matter of fact. A.Rod and Max P, we're all in the same league, and our draft is next week. And I'm in 2 leagues, and I just drafted from my other league last week, and I got Ant-Man and Scotty with my 10th and 11th pick. I was picking 10th and like the next round, so I got my 2 guys. So I wanted to say, are there any players who you think are going to be the biggest sleepers, like the sleeper picks, the ones that nobody's really looking at, that are going to have a hell of a year when it comes to 9-cat, 12 teams sort of fantasy vibe? Who do you got? Who do you think people aren't picking up sleeper picks? Max P.
Sleeper pick. I'm going with Sengun from Houston Rockets.
Sengun, I know he's on my radar.
Him play last night. Was it last night?
He's a monster, man.
Playing the Oklahoma City Thunders, and I was watching Sengun do his little thing, and I was like, yeah, on the low. That's someone who's nice, but is not really going to be, I don't know, one of those top picks in fantasy. I don't think a lot of people are going to go for him in the early
He's picks. Like, if he slips to 3rd or 4th round, like, you have to get him. Yeah, because he could still be picked top 3rd round. He's a 3rd round type of guy.
You hope that guy drops and you get him for value. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those guys.
Yeah. Well, now I know who you're going for next week.
I don't know what I'm doing out
here. I'm going deeper in the draft. I'm going like later rounds, and I think one of the guys that I think everybody needs to try to jump on is Tyus Jones, now the starting point guard for the Phoenix Suns. So he had a terrible season with Washington last year, just because who didn't have a terrible season last year? Who would even want to be playing basketball with that team last year? So I think he's going to definitely step it up. I mean, that's their starting point guard. All he needs to do is pass to these guys. If you want assists, you want steals, you want just steady. He's a good basketball player anyway. So I picked him last year, expecting that he was going to do some things, but unfortunately he didn't. So Tyus Jones is one of my picks. You got another one? Maybe another.
Another sleeper pick. Another sleeper pick would probably be. I don't know how many people are really going to go for Tyrese Halliburton.
Well, he's the top 1st round pick for sure.
You think so?
He's going to go before 10 for sure. He'll go like 6, 7, I would say. Yeah. Just because he absolutely, I think any league you'd be in, he's definitely going in the first 7, 8 picks. For sure.
I'll be interested to see how much respect he can garner in this fantasy world.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. But you think he's going like top 10 like that, huh?
Yeah, well, and he's one of my keepers. I got him 2 years ago, and Tyrese is he's a monster. I don't necessarily like I wouldn't invite him over to hang out, but I mean he's
Well, I
he's
watch him on the Pat McAfee show. He seems real chill. You
does he?
know,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
he's chill. Yeah, yeah.
If you can be chill on the Pat McAfee show, then you're cool. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I think some more sleeper picks for me, deeper in the draft to end this off with. I think everybody's got to look at Keontae George out of
Okay.
Utah, the point guard that he's going to be their starting point guard, and he, him and Laurie Markkinen are going to be the only offense they got. So he's second option. So he's their starting point guard. So if you need a point guard and late in your draft, I think you got to go with Keontae George. And I think another one that sleeper rookie, like I don't think he's even being picked in most drafts yet. But the number one pick, Zachary Rusheshe, I don't even know how to say his last name, but from France, this kid, I watched his highlights. I know you don't want to take too much stock in a preseason game, but the eyes don't lie, Chico. I always say that. And man, he was slick. He smooth. He had a feel for the game. He even threw one pass through his legs to Clint Capella in the back, and he was having fun. So I mean, he I don't know if I would take him yet, but keep your eye on him. He's one of those watch list guys to see where he goes. And my last pick is Walker Kessler. He had a shitty year last year. Another Utah guy. He didn't play too well last year just because of injury. Also because I don't know, they just were kind of confused in Utah who was who and who was doing what. But I think this year, this guy, if you need your blocks and you need a center like later on in your draft, and he's still available, I think it's not too far fetched to think that this guy's gonna have a monster year.
Who's the coach out there in Utah?
It's not that dude. No, that dude went to Atlanta with the slick hair, Pat Riley hair. Yeah, who is the coach?
Utah is a team that does not get a lot of airtime.
No, no, they don't.
Mhm.
No, they don't. That's one of those teams, man. Like on draft day, if you were a ball player and you got drafted to Utah, I mean, I'd be so happy that I'm getting drafted to the NBA and I made my dreams came alive. But it'd be like Utah, man.
But nobody's going to know that you're in the league. Your fans
Yeah,
aren't going to see any of your games, and it's going to be weird.
and you can't dance after midnight. In Utah, you can't dance after midnight. That's the myth. That's the rumor. But yeah. Oh, and last one. This kid, I wanted A.Rod. I didn't know A.Rod wasn't going to be on tonight until right off the top. But this kid Reed, the rookie Reed from Houston, didn't
Yep.
know he was Mr. Basketball out of Kentucky. This kid can shoot, and I had no idea about his defense.
Oh, he played some D. I wasn't watching that hard last night.
I guess he's a monster on D as well. So I think Houston got one with
Oh,
with
yeah,
this
Houston
pick.
got one. Houston got one. Hey, yo, Reed, you need to hit up one of them local barbershops in Houston, though.
Yeah,
My
get
dude.
fixed up.
Yeah, get fixed up.
What do you think about Houston? You had some. What do you
Oh,
think
Houston's
Houston
like
can make some moves this year?
Houston's one of my favorite teams.
Yeah, I know they are. Yeah, yeah.
I love watching Houston play. I love the coach. Shout out to
Mm,
Ime Udoka when he looked LeBron up and down.
yeah, oh
Said, "Fuck you
yeah,
gonna do about it?"
yeah. Fuck you.
Absolutely nothing. I thought so. That was a great moment last year, man.
That was
Like,
legendary. He got so his entire team was like, "Yep, this is the boss." Yep, that's my boss. Yeah, no, he's a hell of a coach, man. And
yeah,
Houston, I'm with
there's
you.
other young teams that I really wanted to look forward to watching. Like I used to look forward to watching Charlotte a lot. Disappointed.
Yes.
I looked forward to watching Memphis, and it was a fiasco. You know,
Man. But those two teams right there that you mentioned, that's funny because I'm in the exact same boat. I always want to watch those two teams. That's hilarious. But I'm like I know what he did wasn't right, Miles Bridges, but Miles Bridges is a beast on the basketball court. LaMelo Ball, when his ankles aren't cracked, is
mhm,
he can be pretty smooth and slick on his own little level. And Memphis, if Ja can stay healthy, and
mhm.
Zach Edey. Now that's another sleeper
Zach
pick if we
Edey.
want to stay
Oh man,
fantasy
why
wise.
wasn't he on our Olympic team? Why wasn't he on our Olympic
I don't know,
team?
right?
Ugh.
I don't know. It's disappointing. And Jaren's, he easily could not be healthy this year. We've seen it before. So if Zach, step in, and he could be a dark horse for rookie of the year. Him and Reed out of Houston, I think. If the right, I don't want to say right things happen because I don't want to wish anybody to get hurt. But if the right things happen for these guys, you never know. You never know.
Ja loves to throw lobs, and Edie loves to catch them, so it's going to be lots of easy points.
Well, good thing he doesn't have to jump too high, though, because he's not the most athletic player out there.
He doesn't need to jump.
No.
I see him catch a couple in preseason. I mean, they're already got a little bit of a connection going.
Yeah, he's huge, too. I knew he was big, but he's just huge. So is there anything else around the NBA, Max, that caught your attention, or any drama, any stories that hit you? It doesn't even have to be basketball before we get out of here, but anything you want to get out before we get out of here?
It's going to be fun to watch the Lakers crash and burn this season.
I know, right?
It's a circus out there.
Yeah.
What else is interesting in the league? I wonder what's going to happen in Phoenix. Are they going to just sort of fade away into the black hole, or are they going to actually step up and do something? Nobody
on that, man.
Nobody cares. They got Booker, they got KD, and it's like a big yawn.
It is, right? I think they've. I don't want to say that Durant's done because he's not. He's not done until he says so. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Tyus Jones isn't gonna put you over. He's a good player, like we already spoke on him, but it's not like that's gonna change everything. But we'll see. We'll see. I did mess one thing right here, Max. We'll end it off on this. I wanted to bring it up because I want to call this episode The Dudes. And the reason I wanted to call this episode The Dudes is because my playlist came up. I've been taking a couple days off with running, but my last run, and I'm a big Devin the Dude fan, man. I've been a huge Devin the Dude fan, man. So Devin's playlist came up of mine that I have all his old tunes, and this is his first album, The Dude. And I have to say that, show them what they put in their names for all these tunes like that. But I wanted to play one of my favorite Devin the Dude tunes. And this one's called See What I Can Pull. See What I Could Pull. And I don't know. I told Youngbleed, I have Youngbleed on my list as some of the best flow out there with Snoop, Slick Rick, Youngbleed. I'm putting Devin in that big list as well. Devin the Dude, man. Devin's flow is so smooth and just so, I don't know, man. He's just got his own vibe going on. Man. Trying to see what I can see. Type of dude you want to hang out with.
Yeah, Devin's that dude. Absolutely legendary. He needs one of those Lifetime Achievement Awards that the Grammy gives out and stuff.
They got to give that to Devin.
Devin is one of those rappers that deserves one of those type of awards.
He does, man.
People like Drake and J. Cole get a lot of credit for stuff that Devin the Dude was doing before anybody.
Man, that singing. He was just having fun singing, man.
The open, I'm not trying to be super cool type of rapper.
That's the thing, man. He was just having fun.
He gave people confidence to just be
you.
Whatever you is, right? You didn't have to be the dope boy, the tough guy. You didn't have to be the gangster. Devin the Dude was just that dude,
When we were going to the studio, still out in where was it, East Mall area? I forget. Anyways, out that way. And I used to come home afterwards, and I'd listen to Devin the Dude. And Devin the Dude, man, he just reminded me,
Said you wanna blow?
Just having fun.
Well, bitch didn't blow.
So lick that thing, baby. Lick that thing.
Said you wanna blow?
Anyways, man, Devin the Dude, man, so slick, so cool, and you said it so well right there, so eloquently. Is just he made it so cool to just be you and just be yourself and have fun. You know,
He also helped save. What was the second Chronic? What was the name of the Chronic 2001?
yeah, Dre's 2001. Yeah.
Whatever the dude's
Oh
feature
man.
on there was.
Oh, that was
Out of
it.
this world.
That was it.
Out of
That's what
this world.
skyrocketed his career.
Yeah, but I mean, it skyrocketed the album too.
So yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that too, man. It was like everyone that didn't know about Devin, they knew about Devin after that.
What a moment, man.
Yeah, that was a smart. Move on Dre to put him on there, man.
Dr. Dre, like people can say what they want about Dr. Dre and his producing skills or whatever,
Yeah.
but he's a triple OG, and he was actually hands-on in the NWA era.
Yeah.
So you can't really knock him for what his producing style is now. But he's been connected to the best artists forever, his whole career.
Yeah.
And his record is impeccable. Whatever you got to say about Dr. Dre, he's brought us the best.
He wasn't at any of those puffy parties. I don't think so. On that note, it was another episode of the SportsEthos Toronto Raptor podcast. As you know, I'm El Hoopo, and that's Max P. Max Profit, you better pay him. And we will be back with A.Rod next week as the preseason continues. And we will hopefully see you soon every single time we... don't know what I'm